All right, man. So Philadelphia rapper slash podcaster Gillie Da Kid says that the police informed him of a connection between the murder of his son, Devin Spady, who was murdered 2 years ago.
Right now, police are trying to piece together what led to a shooting in Olney that left one man dead, 2 other people injured. It happened around 8:30 tonight at Masher Street and Nadro Avenue in Olney. Police say a 25-year-old man was killed. 2 other men are in stable condition. No one was arrested.
Gillie Da Kid laying his oldest son, Devin Spady, to rest on Monday. Spady, who rapped under the name Young Cheese, was killed in a shooting at the corner of Masher and Nedro last Thursday night. Many family friends we spoke with believe losing a son to gun violence will motivate Gillie even more to stay active in his fight. But they also know he can't do it alone and say the community has to step up and take action.
And a local high school basketball star, Noah Scurry, who was recently killed.
Breaking details on the homicide investigation of 17-year-old Noah Scurry. He's the star student athlete gunned down outside his home in front of his mother while getting ready to head to Samuel Fells High School. And that's where our Kelly Rule is live for us tonight. Kelly, what are you learning?
Well, Sheba, police say they are looking for at least 2 people for this homicide, possibly a third, and they believe they do have the vehicle that was used in the crime. But tonight, law enforcement sources are telling me they believe Noah Scurry appeared in a rap video with guns that was posted to social media the day before he was killed.
On a recent podcast that was released this Wednesday on Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharpe would unknowingly bring up a story that was headline news in Philadelphia. And I'm assuming that because Gillie is from Philly, that Shannon Sharpe decided to ask him, being that this is a correlation between sports, hip-hop, and Gillie is a big pillar of his community. So Shannon asked Gillie, hey, do you know the story of this guy named Noah Scurry who was a high school basketball product? He was on the way to doing good things, D1 scholarship offers, and for whatever reason, he was gunned down and shot 17 times in front of his mother. A tragedy, a travesty, because Gillie kept explaining how there's poverty in Philly, and that's what's resulting to the violence. Now, I don't expect Shannon to know, but I heard about this story a couple of weeks ago when people started putting things together. And they're saying that Noah Scurry was a full-time basketball player and a part-time driller, and also a part-time rapper. Yes, he was a legend in 3 sports like Pee Wee Kirkland, a legend. Well, Shannon would be in for the surprise of his life when Gillie flat out told him, hey, that's the guy who killed my son.
I saw about the 17-year-old basketball player, straight A student. Am I wrong, Gillie? It used to be like the athletes, they got protected.
Right.
Nobody touched them. Hey, he good now. He gonna be what we, they're gonna be talking about the block. He from the block, he got out. They protected those guys. What happened?
That's who killed my son.
The 17?
Yeah. The 17-year-old basketball player that just got shot 17 times?
Yes.
That's who killed my son.
Really?
Yes.
What was that about?
Well, it wasn't for my son.
Your son happened to be there?
Yes.
Oh.
Them blocks is beefing. They going through it. My son just so happened to pull up out there 5 minutes. They come to shoot the block up. My son's not from that block. He don't, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just so happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And he would explain how Cheese was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, visiting some people, was on the block for 5 minutes, not knowing that it was a war zone. People came through, sprayed up the block, and unfortunately, his son would tragically lose his life on that Philadelphia street. Gillie would also confirm that the police are the ones who told him, hey, the guy that's responsible for your kid's murder was the one who just died.
This is the mindset.
Yeah.
The only reason why I know is because the police called me and told me once he was murdered. Once he got, because the kid had just got shot 17 times. He was walking with his mom.
Oh.
And he got murdered. And then the police notified me and let me know that he was one of the kids that was pretty much about to get locked up for the murder. But he got murdered first. So, and then, when you do something in the streets know. So You know, they all on Instagram and they talk, and then, you know, apparently this kid name was the Joker, and, you know, that's what he did, so, you know. But he had to deal with God, you know, that's how I look at it.
He was actually going to school with his mom. He was getting in the car where somebody walked him down at 7 o'clock a.m. Seems personal, doesn't it? We'll get to who did that. But first, let's talk about Noah Scurry. Now, Noah Scurry was not only a star athlete, but he wasn't trying to be a traditional MC. He was actually trying to be a drill rapper. Surprise, fucking surprise. We all know these days that that's what the kids want to be. They look at these outlets and they think that the only way you can get on being a rapper is to actually live your raps, not knowing that most of these people from their eras back in the day weren't on a damn thing. And I actually think Gillie kind of had some compassion for the boy, because I think he comes from the same environment and he's been in those same shoes. But he was saying when he came up, they looked up to the hustler. They didn't look up to the killer.
When I was young, we glamorized the person that was getting money, the hustler. That's why rap names was like Gotti. Rap games, it was always somebody that was getting some money. Now, it don't be about no money or nothing. They'll kill you about an Instagram post.
Right.
You said you was gonna slide, you ain't slide yet.
Right.
Now I slid. Like, are you serious?
Right.
So, it don't make no sense. And it's no answer for it. It's just flat out plain stupidity.
And I completely concur, because that wasn't the cool thing to be when I was growing up, was a killer. Those were the people you looked at kind of crazy, like, what's wrong with bro? I just want to get a little money on, you hear me? You see, Noah adapted a rap moniker of the name the Joker. And because he was a recruit and he had colleges looking at him and he knew that he couldn't sacrifice his scholarship just to be a rapper, he decided that he was going to wear a Joker mask when he got off. He didn't really give away that he was the one that killed Cheese, but he said things that were pretty eerie for someone who was a top Philadelphia high school basketball product. In all honesty, man, I know that Ja Morant is somewhere punching the air, because he like, damn, this supposed to be my legacy. I'm trying to be the basketball king, Von. What's going on? Too late, my boy, because Noah scurried, but not fast enough. Rest in peace to that man. Now, the crazy part about this situation is that Noah Scurry put this music video out and he was killed expeditiously. Yup, 24 hours later. I guess he gave the proper motivation to the people that were still seeking street justice for Cheese, and that's exactly what they turned Noah Scurry into. Swiss cheese. And say what you want, I may be being harsh. They're gonna say he was 17 years old, he was a kid, he's just a product of his environment. Hey, at 17, I knew that killing was wrong. At 17, somebody in the hood knows that killing is wrong. It's just something you wanted to do. When you went and did a music video, that's something that you wanted to do. You wanted to mock the death. You wanted to rap about killing, knowing that you had opportunities to make it out of your environment. At 17, you're old enough to know what you're doing. And if not, hey, it is what it is. If we would have let Noah Scurry get away with this, he just would have been the basketball version of Aaron Hernandez. In the words of Philadelphian activist Dr. Umar, listen, he can't save everybody. Some of y'all is gonna get deleted for good. You see, Noah Scurry must have just been hanging around the wrong people, because Noah actually had the highest SAT score in his high school.
Principal said Scurry scored the highest among the Fells community on the SAT tests.
The student who was killed was exceptional. No problems from him whatsoever, according to the principal and other staff members. As you might imagine, they are distraught.
Scurry's mom surrounded by loved ones today, including the basketball coach and other staff from the high school. Grief counselors were also on site and will be as needed, according to district officials. Students say they could feel the impact all day.
When you saw him around, like, you knew he brought good energy to everybody.
Whenever he entered a room, the room always lit. You know, it was always a smile on somebody's face when they were around them. He had a whole future ahead of him, too. It's scary to think about.
That just makes it more disappointing, because we all know somebody who was talented, who was smart, but they just never put their gifted abilities to use. and unfortunately it took them down the wrong path. Now they saying that this isn't the only body that Noah Scurry is responsible for. They're actually saying that he blew off the face of another man while a woman witnessed it and said, "Oh my God, he blew his face off. I am not making this up."
His face is gone.
But this is about Gillie's child, so we're gonna stick to that. Now, a man would be taken into custody after the police recovered a Jeep, and his name would be C-Baby. Who is C-Baby? That would be the cousin of Y&G Cheese, which would be the nephew of Gillie Da Kid. You see how it all comes back full circle. Yeah, Mr. C-Baby went and spun faster than dirt for his cousin. Now, the Philadelphia Deputy Police Commissioner would fire back at Gillie. His name is Frank Benor. He would say through evidence that he didn't have any connections that were definite that are responsible for the homicide of Cheese. Basically, he's saying, I don't know where Gillie got that shit from. Now, in my personal opinion, that doesn't mean that Gillie could be lying. Somebody on the street could have told him that was a police officer, a detective. Hey, they could have said, hey man, we believe that this was the guy. You never really know. What I will say is that Scurry's music video, which is currently sitting at 1.5 million views, didn't do the police saying that, hey, he's not the one who did it maybe, any justice. In the words of BBL Drizzy, he said, I swear music and sports is so synonymous because we want to be them and they want to be us. Well, in the case of Noah Scurry, he wanted to be all of it. And unfortunately, that led to his ultimate demise at 17 years old. If you take a life, or even if you act like you took a life these days, people are gonna stand on business. This generation does not play. You see, the internet is a real thing to them, whereas the people that were here before them, we know that this is all fake. There could be people really putting on a show and really not meaning what they're saying, but at the end of the day, those consequences and the feelings that you're causing to people are always gonna do some type of street justice. And Gillie also said, hey, he could have went to jail, the police were on his tail, but you know what? Streets and the justice of the streets, and God got him back first. It is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down below, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell, and we out, baby. Boom.
It's him.